Because I need to.
Shoot him, man. Shoot him. Shoot him. I wouldn't want.
The Krispy Kreme donut machine. Want to see how it works? Let's take a look at the machinery involved and each step of the process along the way. The donut has its origins back to the 1800s. The shape of the donut with the hole in the middle is because they learned that the donut cooks a lot more evenly. There are a lot of good donuts out there, but the one I'll be focusing on today is the Krispy Kreme donut. The first Krispy Kreme store was started in 1937 by a man named Vernon Rudolph. This was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina in the United States. As of the year 2024, they have over 350 locations in the United States, and they've now expanded to more than 30 different countries. This store is what's known as a factory store. Let's take a look inside. They make the donuts on this giant machine, and plenty of the donuts are sold and eaten right here in the store. Some of the donuts, though, are packaged up and shipped to local grocery stores and gas stations nearby. So you can get your donuts elsewhere, but my favorite place is to come directly here where they are made. And one of the best parts is that they have this giant glass wall that lets you see the entire process. But it wasn't always done this way. At first, making the Krispy Kreme donuts was a bit more of a manual process, and I'm sure it took a lot of work. Back in 1937, it was just a small factory that would make the donuts and then ship them out to other stores in the area. But people on the street could smell the donuts and kept stopping by. As the story goes, they cut a hole in the wall to serve the donuts directly to the customers. This was an instant success. The challenge now was to make enough donuts to serve the growing number of customers. They invented a machine in the 1950s called the Crispy Automatic Ring King Jr. It could make the donuts almost by itself. The ingredients are mixed in here, and then the dough comes out into the hot oil, and it's already in the shape of a donut. At just the right time, the paddles flip the donuts over to cook on the other side. Then they are brought out of the oil to cool. This tiny machine could churn out 720 donuts per hour. It's a big part of the reason that Krispy Kreme was so successful in the early days. Another benefit is that the donuts were also made consistently between the growing number of Krispy Kreme locations. Starting in the 1960s, the process improved and expanded quite a bit. The machine today is a lot more efficient and modernized with computers. It can churn out up to 3,000 donuts an hour. From the start of the process all the way to the end, it takes about an hour to finish a batch of donuts.
Of them all. They're paper thin, yet sharp enough and strong enough to cut through the coarsest beard. Razor blades are made from a stainless steel strip that's a mere 4/1000ths of an inch thick. The strip first enters a punching machine that stamps out the overall blade shape. These dull-edged blades to be are called blanks. At this stage of the process, the stainless steel is very soft, as pliable as paper, so they now harden and strengthen it through a 4-step heat treatment process. Step 1. They heat the blanks in a furnace to just over 2000 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 seconds. Step 2. They briefly submerge them in cold water. This is called quenching. Step 3. They chill them for about 20 seconds in a deep cooling chamber at a temperature of -58 Fahrenheit. All this progressively restructures the molecules, hardening the metal. However, the metal becomes brittle, necessitating reheating the blanks for 20 seconds. The now hard blanks then move through a printer, which applies the razor blade brand name. Gas flames instantly dry the wet ink. Now it's time for the blanks to become blades. They enter a grinding and polishing machine. Within it are 3 grinding stations which first sharpen the contour, then produce 2 super sharp cutting edges. The blades then pass through a polishing station that removes burrs left by the grinding. Until now, the blades have been connected to each other. As they exit this machine, a knife separates them. The factory's quality control lab pulls samples from the production line and checks, among other criteria, the quality of the grinding and geometrics of the cutting edges. Then, every single blade the factory produces is examined for cutting-edge defects. Technicians assemble blades in packs of up to 800, then shine fluorescent light on the 2 cutting-edge sides. This makes defects visible. Blades that